tune it in the sun. This is TFM. Get ready to rock. From AM to PM. Come on. Let's talk.
TFM 95.4.
Let's talk.
Live on TFM and the TFM Facebook page. This is the live feed of TTV. Let's talk.
Hello and welcome to the Midday Update. These are the top headlines from our newsroom today. Exceptions added to hotel pre-booking requirement for quarantine in the Sultanate. Violating privacy of individuals through photos, news could lead to jail term in the country. UK bans non-essential international travel till at least May 17 this year. Trump slams Supreme Court for not shielding his tax records. Brazil to start producing COVID-19 vaccine in first half of 2021. Al-Harasi to preside over His Majesty the Sultan's Hockey Cup. Sri Lanka announced ODI T20I squad for West Indies tour. In addition to that, we'll be joined by the chairman of Muscat Media Group, Mr. Mohammed Isa Zajali, as Times of Oman celebrates 46th year of anniversary today. But before that, let's see how the weather condition looks like in the Sultanate in our weather update.
This is Maythel Shukeli with your daily weather update, and right now I'm at the premises of Oman Data Park at Muscat Knowledge Oasis. Before we move on to weather, here is an interesting fact for the day. Listening to crickets can actually give you an estimate of what the temperature will be like on the Fahrenheit scale. You can do this by hearing the amount of chirps in 15 seconds and adding it to 37. That is our fact for the day. Now let's step inside the offices and talk more about weather. An alert has been issued by Oman Meteorology and Civil Aviation Authorities saying that there will be poor visibility due to the fog formation, with mainly clear skies over the rest of the Sultanate, with possible medium and high advection clouds over the northern governorates, and chances of late night to early morning, low-level clouds or fog patches over the parts of South Al-Sharqiyya, Al-Wusta and Dhafar. Now let's move on and take a look at how the weather will be like in all the governorates. Muscat will be sunny, temperatures between 31 to 22 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 29 to 21 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batana will be sunny, temperatures between 31 to 21 degrees Celsius. South Al-Batana will be sunny, temperatures between 31 to 21 degrees Celsius. Al-Buremi will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 31 to 19 degrees Celsius. Al-Dhahira will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 32 to 20 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhiliya will be sunny, temperatures between 31 to 19 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiyya will be sunny, temperatures between 31 to 18 degrees Celsius. South Al-Sharqiyya will be sunny, temperatures between 31 to 20 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be sunny, temperatures between 33 to 19 degrees Celsius. And Dhafar will also be sunny, temperatures between 24 to 16 degrees Celsius.
It's about time we kicked COVID-19 out of our lives. Join us on TTV Outline every Monday and let us learn how to fight COVID together. Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. Now, before we get into the details of the local stories for the day, let's see how the COVID-19 situation looks like in the Sultanate. The Ministry of Health officials has announced the registration of 2 death cases due to coronavirus in Oman today. This has taken the total death toll in the Sultanate to 1,557. The health officials have also extended their deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. In addition to that, the Ministry of Health has also announced the registration of 297 cases of coronavirus in Oman today. The total cases in the country have now touched 139,989, including 131,143 recoveries, as well as 1,557 deaths. According to Ministry of Health, in past 24 hours, 295 recoveries were also reported. The ministry has urged everyone to adhere to social distancing instructions issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health. Now from a local desk. Oman's largest English daily celebrates its 46th anniversary today. More than 46 years ago, Times of Oman, an integral part of Muscat Media Group, was born with the intention of creating an English newspaper to give people with the latest developments in Oman. Since then, it has grown every single day. Today, more than 3.5 million people across the world read Times of Oman stories every day. The paper was founded by late Isa bin Muhammad az-Zajjali in 1975. Though he's no longer with us, Times of Oman continues his legacy and remains the market leader in both digital and print. To talk about the developments and how it progressed over the years, we have Mr. Muhammad Isa Zajjali, the chairman of Muscat Media Group, joining us today. Thank you so much, Mr. Muhammad, for being a part of the episode today. First of all, let me extend my congratulations on the 46th anniversary of Times of Oman.
Thank you, Madiha. We are all happy here at Times of Oman and Muscat Media Group for celebrating our 46th anniversary. And also I'd like to thank all our loyal readers for making us to be number one and their choice of a newspaper in Oman.
So, Mr. Muhammad, looking into the history of Times of Oman, it's clear that it was launched in 1975. It's 46 years that you're celebrating today. How have you seen the journey of Times of Oman? What really happened? So today, while celebrating the 46 years of Times of Oman in the Sultanate, we would really like to know how it started, how the journey has been in these 46 years.
Well, when my father was working for Ministry of Foreign Affairs, he was the person in charge of giving permission for all airlines to fly over Oman. And in 1974, late 1974, he got a telex from a cargo company. It's called the Flying Tigers, asking permission to fly over Oman. But in the telex itself, it was mentioned Muscat, Oman, Saudi Arabia. So my father, he was a little bit annoyed, how come those people don't know that Oman is not part of Saudi Arabia. So he kept it he kept it for about maybe 3-4 days, not doing anything. But finally he realized that nobody knew about Oman. It's 1974. And came with an idea of maybe launching an English newspaper so that it can spread the news and talk about Oman to different countries and different people in different languages other than Arabic. So he came with the idea of maybe launching a newspaper. And when he went to His Highness Sayyid Fahad, and that time he was Minister of Information, His Highness was pleased and encouraged my father to continue this launching a newspaper. So in 1975, 23rd of February, it was the first edition of weekly Times of Oman in English was launched in Oman. It was the first English newspaper in Oman. And it was weekly for about, I think, maybe 15 years until 1990 when it became like a daily newspaper. And during that time, from 1990, we managed to get into different type of platforms like WordPress, that you could get our newspaper anywhere around the world in any 5-star hotels to print the new edition of newspaper in black and white. There wasn't internet at the moment, but we thought this is the best solution for Times of Oman to reach everywhere. And with the internet becoming like a standard of communication and platforms for all the media, we were probably one of the first newspaper in Oman to be online as a website, and then also as an e-paper, and also on the social media and so on. So we will make sure that we are a dynamic company that we want to expand as fast as possible to reach everybody in a different platforms.
Right. Mr. Muhammad, you just spoke about that for 15 years, it remained a tabloid, and from 1990, it started being a daily English newspaper. Now, from 1990 till today, it is still the #1 newspaper in the Sultanate, and not just in the Sultanate, but it is widely read across the country. How do you see the achievements, or how do you see this journey? When it started, did you realize that Times of Oman will be actually the #1 newspaper in Oman?
I don't think my father realized that what he started will become like a mega success for him, because he was only thinking of spreading the word of Oman around the world, But Alhamdulillah, that because of his vision and our hardworking employees, that we managed to adapt and embark on any technology that makes us to reach each individual anywhere around the world, even Oman, through using either the papers or the electronics and so on, yani. And I feel that we kept like milestones in our plans so that we can achieve, and also a feedback from different sources to make sure that we are achieving our goals.
Right. And, talking about the current situation, we are still in the, mid of coronavirus, not just in Oman, but across the globe. Last year, it was announced in March that all the print publications in Oman must be halted. And during this time, Times of Oman still, remain #1 by circulating, by reaching out to the people in Oman, informing them about the developments of coronavirus and other stories. How did you embark on this journey during such tough measures?
Like anyone else, we were surprised, with the coronavirus that impacted our daily life. And we were unfortunate that we were part of the Matrah area, was a lockdown, and we could not print or even circulate our papers the normal way until we got the order from the higher committee to stop printing the newspaper. But immediately, because we are ready to embark on any technology, we managed to launch our newspaper daily with the PDF, circulating with the different social media platforms, whether WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And at the same time, we came with an idea of launching also an evening edition. That was the first time in Oman somebody launched an evening edition of a newspaper, which came because of the cause of the corona, yani. But again, because of the loyalty of our employees and their dedication, we managed to achieve 2 editions of newspapers daily during the pandemic, and we're continuing with that now. The printing press, the printing papers is coming up in the morning, and the evening edition is electronically circulated.
Right. Looking into these 46 years and talking just about Times of Oman wouldn't be fair, because just not Times of Oman has been, being the #1 newspaper in Oman. There's also other mediums like Shabiba newspaper and TTV, Times of Oman TV, and the radio channels that are also doing really well. How did this all start?
Again, because we have a vision of make sure that we are in all platforms, and we realize that the papers one day is going to die or it's going to shrink. So since 2008, we were planning to launch a TV station for Times and the Shabiba, a radio station and so on. But we realized that the TV station, it was not feasible for us in terms of economical or in terms of financial, because going to the satellite and so on. But thank God for the technology, we managed to open up our own TTV on the YouTube as a channel. We also launched our TFM in 2018 as an extent of our different reach to the people in terms of voice, video, papers. So I think we are probably the only media house in Oman, private house in Oman, that we have all the platforms, from papers to voice to video.
Thank you so much once again, Mr. Muhammad, for joining us in today's episode. And once again, congratulations on the 46th anniversary.
Thank you, Madiha. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, bye-bye.
Well, that was Mr. Muhammad Isa Zajali, the chairman of Muscat Media Group, talking to us on the 46th anniversary of Times of Oman. It's time for us to take a quick commercial break, but stay tuned for more updates from our local desk. It's about time we kicked COVID-19 out of our lives. Join us on TTV Outline every Monday and let us learn how to fight COVID together. Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update, continuing the rest of the stories from a local desk. Air crew subjects to the precautionary measures issued by the Ministry of Health are among the group of travelers exempted from institutional quarantine on arrivals in Oman, Civil Aviation Authority announced in its circular issued on 22nd February 2021. The Civil Aviation Authority would like to inform for all airlines operating in the Sultanate that the passenger categories exempted from presenting pre-confirmed hotel reservations before they are checked in at the airport of their departure has been updated as per the following. Number 1, diplomats working at foreign diplomatic missions accredited to the Sultanate, their families and diplomats visiting the Sultanate. Number 2, those aged 18 and less if traveling alone and arrivals of age 60 and above. Number 3, air crew subject to the precautionary measures issued by the Ministry of Health. 4, sick passengers whose health conditions require special attention as per the attached health form. The exception includes 2 companions with female or under 18 years old patients and only 1 companion with male patient above 18. 5, holders of permits for private institutional isolation centers that are pre-approved by the relief and shelter sector. Lastly, number 6, for sea crews moored in the territorial waters of the Sultanate, companies are obliged to ensure that there is a hotel reservation covering the duration of their stay in Oman based on the letter of the shipping agent. All other requirements, as stipulated in previous circulars, remain valid, the statement added. Now, imprisonment of up to 3 years and or fine of 5,000 Omani riyals will be imposed on anyone using the internet or means of information technology to invade the private or familial life of individuals by taking photos or publishing news or audiovisual records. A statement issued online by the public prosecution in the Sultanate said, using the internet or means of information technology such as cell phones with a built-in camera to invade the private or familial life of individuals by taking photos or publishing news or audiovisual records in connection to that, even if they are true, or by insulting and slandering others, is an offense punishable by imprisonment for a period that extends to 3 years and a fine that ranges to 5,000 Omani riyals or by either one of these 2 sentences. Once again, it's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming your way from International Desk. It's about time we kicked COVID-19 out of our lives. Join us on TTV Outline every Monday and let us learn how to fight COVID together. Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from our international desk. In view of the spread of coronavirus, the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced on Monday that a ban on non-essential international travel will be imposed from and to the country till at least May 17, 2021. Though travel and aviation sectors have been among the hardest hit during the pandemic, the ban came as the new COVID-19 strain has been spreading. Prime Minister Johnson said domestic overnight stays and self-contained accommodation will be allowed no earlier than 12th April, but non-essential international travel will remain banned, Sky News reported him saying that. Highlighting the roadmap of lockdown, Johnson said, "This is part of the roadmap's second step, and it will take place at least 5 weeks after the first step, which is 8th March, but could be postponed if the Prime Minister and his advisors say it is necessary." He said the date for international holidays to be allowed is not before 17th May 2021. The government's Global Travel Task Force will reconvene to issue a report by 12th April recommending how international trips can resume safely, he said. Boris Johnson said this will give people time to make their plans for the summer, Sky News reported. Adding to this was the Sky News Airport Operators Association Chief Executive Karen Dee, quoting that as the worst hit economic sector in 2020, this will ensure we will also be the worst hit sector of 2021. Now, former U.S. President Donald Trump issued a statement in which he slammed the U.S. Supreme Court for not blocking New York prosecutors from obtaining his text records. Earlier on Monday, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer declined to issue a stay for a lower court ruling in favor of former President Donald Trump, disclosing his tax returns to a New York grand jury. The Supreme Court never should have let the fishing expedition happen, but they did, Trump said on Monday. He continued saying that this is something which has never happened to a president before. It is all Democrat-inspired in a totally Democrat location, New York City and state, completely controlled and dominated by a heavily reported enemy of mine, Governor Andrew Cuomo. Trump further said that New York Attorney General's investigation is a continuation of the greatest political hunt in U.S. history, adding that the probe is similar to practices in third world countries and represents a threat to the foundation of liberty in the United States. Trump also reiterated his stance that the 2020 U.S. presidential election was rigged and stolen from him. Monday's decision significantly weakens Trump's ability to protect his tax returns from the grand jury subpoena, bearing further but unlikely U.S. Supreme Court interventions in this case. New York City District Attorney Cyrus Vance is seeking Trump's tax returns dating back to 2011. Brazil will begin to produce a COVID-19 vaccine in the first half of 2021, a state-run biological sciences institution said yesterday. With a technology transfer agreement with British pharmaceutical company AstraZeneca, Oswaldo Cruz Foundation, based in Rio de Janeiro, will be able to start making the vaccine in Brazil in April, said Marco Krieger, the Vice President of Production and Innovation in Health with the foundation, in an interview with the UOL Internet portal. He said that has always been our goal. By incorporating production technology to the maximum, we hope to have 100% national production in the first half of this year. We are very confident. He stressed the importance of Brazil to producing its own COVID-19 vaccine to reduce dependence on other manufacturers amid a high global demand for vaccines. Brazil is set to receive more than 2 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine today, according to Krieger. The AstraZeneca vaccine and the CoronaVac vaccine, developed by Chinese pharma company Sinovac are the two companies being applied in the country. Krieger added that, "I'm convinced that in April, May, or June, we will be very close to having distributed 100 million doses." This was all from our international desk. It's time for us to take a quick commercial break, but stay tuned for more updates from our sports desk. It's about time we kicked COVID-19 out of our lives. Join us on TTV Outline every Monday and let us learn how to fight COVID together. Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from a sports desk. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, Dr. Abdullah bin Nasser al-Harasi, who's the Minister of Information in the country, will patronize over the final match of His Majesty, the Sultan's Hockey Cup for 2020 on Monday, March 1st, 2021, in the presence of His Highness Sayyid Yazid bin Haitham Al Said, Minister of Culture, Sports and Youth. The 50th edition of the Cup saw the participation of 14 clubs, namely Al Nasser, Al Salam, Sohar, Asib, Muscat, Salala, Majiz, Al Ittihad, Al Ahli Sidam, Quriyad, Al Bashair, Nizwa, Bosher, and Dhufar. Now, Sri Lanka on Monday announced the ODI and T20I squad for the upcoming tour of the West Indies. The squad was approved by the Minister of Youth and Sports, Namal Rajapaksa. Suranga Lakmal was named as a replacement for pacer Lahiru Kumara, who was tested positive for the coronavirus earlier in the day. Kumara will not travel with the team yet. He was named in the squad. The Sri Lankan team will leave for the Caribbean today. Now, during the tour, Sri Lanka will play 3 T20Is, 3 ODIs, and 2 test matches under a biosecure environment in Antigua from March 3rd to April 2nd, 2021. With this news, we have come to the end of the episode for today, but stay tuned as we'll be back again tomorrow at 2 p.m. with more updates and news your way. Keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.